his shimmering sun and the grandeur of its ancient monuments, lay a land steeped in anguish and oppression. The river Nile, with its glistening waters, concealed the cries of the Hebrew people, descendants of Jacob, whose numbers had swelled like the tide, igniting fear within the heart of Pharaoh. "Behold," he proclaimed, his voice a thunderous decree, "the people of Israel are too many and too mighty for us." Under the oppressive weight of his command, taskmasters roamed the land, their whips cracking like thunderclaps above the backs of the laboring Hebrews. Brick by brick, city by city, the Hebrews toiled tirelessly, their calloused hands aching as sweat dripped down their brows. Yet, in the depths of their despair, something miraculous occurred. The more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied, a testament to their resilience that deepened Pharaoh's dread into merciless cruelty. In a desperate bid to stem the tide, Pharaoh decreed the death of every male child born to the Hebrews, sentencing them to be cast into the Nile, a silent war waged against innocent infants. Mothers wept, their voices breaking as the river carried away their sorrowful cries. Amidst this bleakness, a woman from the tribe of Levi bore a son. When she held him in her arms, his beauty took her breath away. For 3 months, she kept him hidden, her heart racing with fear at every sound. But as days turned into weeks, she knew she could no longer shield him from the cruel eyes of Pharaoh. With a heavy heart, she fashioned a basket of papyrus, sealing it with pitch, and laid her precious son among the reeds by the edge of the Nile. His sister, Miriam, stood at a distance, her wide eyes filled with trepidation and hope. Fate intervened as Pharaoh's daughter came to bathe in the Nile. She spotted the basket, and as she drew closer, the soft cries of the baby pierced through her. Compassion blossomed in her heart as she exclaimed, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." In that moment, Miriam, quick-witted and brave, approached with a suggestion. "Shall I go and call a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter nodded, her heart still swayed by the innocent coos of the child. And so, the mother who had set her son adrift was gifted back her child, now under the protection of Pharaoh's household, where he would be named Moses, because I drew him out of the water. As days turned into years, Moses grew within the opulent courts of Pharaoh, surrounded by wealth and wisdom. Yet despite the lavish surroundings, his heart remained tethered to the plight of his people. He would often slip away to observe the burdens they bore, their groans echoing in the chambers of his soul, a haunting reminder of his true identity. One fateful day, as he ventured out, he witnessed an Egyptian mercilessly beating a Hebrew slave. Rage erupted within him like a dormant volcano awakening. In that moment, he acted, striking down the Egyptian and burying him in the sand, his heart pounding with the weight of his deed. The next day, he stumbled upon 2 Hebrews quarreling. "Why do you strike your companion?" he challenged, only to be met with disdain. "Who made you a prince and judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" Fear clutched at Moses' heart. His secret was out. Pharaoh learned of his actions and sought to kill him. In a haze of panic and shame, Moses fled the splendor of Egypt, leaving behind a life of comfort for the barren wilderness of Midian. In Midian, weary and alone, Moses found a well and encountered the daughters of Jethro, a priest. When shepherds attempted to drive them away, he sprang into action, defending the women and gaining their father's gratitude. Thus, he was welcomed into Jethro's household, marrying Zipporah and fathering a son named Gershom, a name that echoed his feelings of being a sojourner in a foreign land. Years passed, but the cries of the Israelites in Egypt reached the heavens. God remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. One day, as Moses tended the flock near Mount Horeb, he was met with a sight that would change everything. A bush ablaze with fire, yet not consumed. As he approached, curiosity tinged with awe drew him closer. Suddenly, a voice rang out, "Moses, Moses." "Here I am," he replied, his heart racing. "Do not come near. Take off your sandals. The ground you stand on is holy. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Fear gripped Moses. He hid his face, trembling at the divine revelation. God spoke of the affliction of his people, promising deliverance and a good land. "I will send you to Pharaoh," he declared, "to bring my people out of Egypt." Moses trembled. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" Yet God reassured him, "I will be with you." Doubts lingered as Moses questioned his ability, citing his slow speech. The anger of the Lord flared, yet God provided a solution. His brother Aaron would speak for him. With a staff in hand and a heart filled with both dread and determination, Moses returned to Egypt. Before Pharaoh, Moses delivered the Lord's command, only to be met with scorn. "Who is the Lord that I should obey him?" Pharaoh's heart hardened further, and he increased the burdens upon the Hebrews. Despair engulfed Moses. He cried out to God, questioning the purpose of his calling. God's voice rang clear, "Now you shall see what I will do to Pharaoh." Thus began a fierce battle between Pharaoh's pride and the power of God. With each plague unleashed upon Egypt, fear gripped the land. Rivers turned to blood, frogs swarmed, gnats covered the earth, and yet Pharaoh's heart remained stone. Darkness fell, but in the land of Goshen, the Hebrews were untouched. The final blow came at midnight, when the angel of death struck every firstborn in Egypt. The cries of anguish filled the night, and Pharaoh summoned Moses, desperate to be rid of the curse. "Rise, go out from among my people." The Hebrews left Egypt in haste, their hearts racing with a mix of relief and fear. 600,000 men, alongside their families, journeyed toward freedom. But Pharaoh, once again hardened, pursued them with vengeance. As the people trembled, fearing the wilderness, Moses raised his staff, and the waters of the Red Sea parted, forming walls of water on either side. With faith, they stepped onto dry ground, and as Pharaoh's army followed, the sea closed upon them, drowning their pursuers. Elated, the people sang praises. "I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously." Yet the journey was fraught with challenges. Hunger summoned complaints, frustration led to rebellion, and in moments of weakness, they longed for the comforts of Egypt, forgetting the lash that had bound them. At Mount Sinai, the earth trembled as God descended amid fire and smoke, delivering the 10 Commandments, a divine covenant. But as Moses lingered in his presence, the people faltered, crafting a golden calf to worship. Furious, Moses shattered the tablets but interceded for their mercy. God commanded the building of the tabernacle, a place for his presence, and the glory of God filled it, assuring the people of his nearness. Yet rebellion continued in the wilderness. Despite God's provision, they complained, leading to a cycle of trials. In frustration, Moses struck a rock for water instead of speaking to it as commanded, a fateful error that barred him from entering the promised land. Years passed, and as Israel wandered, new generations emerged. Battles were fought, serpents plagued them, yet God sustained his people. At last, the plains of Moab unfolded before them, and Moses gathered the people. With passion, he reviewed the law and blessed the tribes, preparing Joshua to lead them into the promised land. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one," he proclaimed. God then commanded Moses to ascend Mount Nebo, granting him a view of the land promised to Israel. As he reached the summit, Moses gazed across the valleys and hills, a bittersweet farewell to the journey he had led. With a heart full of hope and fatigue, Moses, the servant of the Lord, breathed his last, and God himself buried him in an unknown valley. Israel mourned for him 30 days, a testament to his unparalleled leadership. The man who spoke with God as a friend, who defied a tyrant, and who never reached the land he had longed for. His legacy endured, casting a long shadow over the journey to freedom, a child drawn from the water, a deliverer who remained forever etched in the annals of history. Moses, the shepherd who guided his people through the wilderness and into destiny.